Hello all. In this video, we will talk about polymorphic references and casting objects in Java. So in the previous videos, we already spoke about polymorphic references, right? So what we have done there, we have used superclass reference variable and then we have created subclass objects. So those polymorphic reference variables, what we have done, we have used it in the array and we have used it as a method parameter and then we have used it as a return type. So by doing so, the advantage we have seen is if we can assign any subclass objects, right? We can assign any subclass objects to those polymorphic reference variables, to the superclass reference variables. So by doing so, we have achieved the polymorphic behavior because the same reference variable, sometimes it acts as dog, sometimes it acts as a cat, and sometimes it acts as an animal, right? So we have done that. Now in this video, we will see we will see in detail assign a superclass reference variable, what are the few issues that we see and what we should do to overcome those. We will discuss those in this video. Now, and I want to prepare an array or list for my dog objects. So I have dog object and now I have to prepare an array list for the dog object. Now, instead of using the java.util.arraylist, what I am doing is I am writing my own dog list class. Okay. So, this dog list, what we have done, it will store the dog objects. Okay. So, for that, if you see the reference variable here, it is storing dogs. And the size what I have given is, I have given 5. So, it will store 5 dog objects. And here it is using the primitive array. So, in my array list, what I have done is, I have created a primitive array which stores dogs and the size of the array is 5. Right? Now I have provided, this is a private because this is the state of the object and it's not accessible directly to the outside members. Now I have created another instance variable next index equal to 0 and I have provided add method. So like people can create an instance of my dog list and they can keep on adding the dog objects to this list. So I have provided dog add method. So what this add method is doing is, if the current index is less than dogs.length, which means that if the current index is less than dogs.length, it means that your array is not at full. If your array is full, then your current would be greater than or equal to dogs.length. So this particular if condition shows that your array is not at full, and if your array is not at full, what you do is you will assign whatever the dog object that got passed to this method to the current index dogs.next index equal to d, and then we will increment the index. So let's dry run the code. So first what happens is, and we already know that array starts from index 0, right? Now if the length is 5, it will accept 5 dog objects and the index starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Initially, you will have 0. Okay. Now, first time when you are adding next index is 0 and the dogs.length is 5. 0 less than 5. Dogs of next index means next index is value is 0. Dogs of 0 at 0 index, you are assigning this dog object. So, next time when the people call the add method, then that object should get inserted at first index because at 0th index you have already inserted it. That's why you are increasing the next index plus plus. So now after the dry run, what happens is here it will become 1. Now when the next person calls this add method, what happens? 1 is less than dogs.length. Dogs.length is 5. 1 less than 5. And at the second index, dogs of next index means dogs of 1. They assign the object and then they increment the index. So it goes on till the next index value is less than dogs.length. Okay. Now we have created this array list specifically for dog. Now you might get one doubt. Okay, I have created it for specifically for dog. Now what if I want to add cat objects here? One more thing is you have to create one more array like private dog of you have created, right? Like that. You have to create private cat of cats equal to new cat of, and you have to provide add dog of method. Like you have to rename this method as add dog and you have to create one more similar method called add cat of. That is one way of adding cats or creating an array list for cats. And the another way is, like if you want to incorporate the cats also, you can add it in the same class by creating one more instance variable cats and by adding one more method. Or what you can do is you can create a similar like this, like my cat list, and then you can, whatever the logic here, you can put the same thing, but wherever the dog you have, instead of the dog you will put cat. Okay, that is another way. But is it a good approach? No, right? Now you have only dog, cat. In future you will get more and more number of animals. Then for each and every subclass of the animal, would you create these many array list classes, or would you keep on adding those many instance variables and the add methods? It doesn't look good. The design itself is not good. If you keep on adding, if you keep on creating class for each and every animal, or if you add instance variable and the method for each and every animal, your code is changing. You are touching the existing code, which might break the existing functionality as well. That's not a good approach. So what you can do now, instead of creating my dog list, or instead of using dog here, what I can do is I can replace this with animal, right? I can replace this with dogs. I can replace this with new animals. I can do this. Okay. Now what I can do here, I can do new animal of. In this case, even like one thing is I have to change the reference variable class here of the primitive array, and one more thing is I can change the reference like method parameter. Here the method parameter is dog. Instead of that I can change to the animal. So if I do so, like if I do like this, what happens? Like I'll change like this. Then if you want to add cat also, it will accept, because cat is the subclass of the animal. If you add wolf also, it will accept, because wolf is the subclass of the animal. So it works for every subclass of the animal. So just by use, now this is called the polymorphism, right? So what we have done in the polymorphism, we have replaced the reference, whatever the objects you create, it doesn't matter to me. But the reference variable, instead of using a specific reference variable like dog, cat and all, what I have done using the reference variable, superclass reference variable. Here my superclass is the animal, right? So I have used that. So this way, what you can do, you can add any kind of animal to this list. This is the advantage of the polymorphism. So this is the my animal list. So if you, instead of using this my dog list specifically, instead of using dog as the reference variable, what you would have done is you would have done using animal as variable, and then you can use the animal. Okay, this works perfectly fine, right? And let's see the, like if you see here my animal list, if you create, you can create an instance of dog, and then you can add dog to the list, and you can add cat to the list, right? This works perfectly fine. Now let's say, till now what had happened, this my animal list is taking care of adding all the subclasses of the animal. Now you might get one doubt. Now this works only for the inheritance tree of the animal. What if you want to add other category of objects also to this list? Like let's say you have another inheritance tree, like vegetables, like instead of animal, let's say vegetable is your class, and subclasses are the like carrot, beetroot, these are the subclasses. Can you add those classes here? Can you add all those classes to this my animal list? Definitely not, because carrot, beetroot, all these comes under the vegetable inheritance tree. So let me just draw one diagram and show here. Okay. Now till now what had happened, animal is the superclass. Under the animal you have dog, and then you have cat. So initially you have created array list separately for dog and separately for cat. Since it is resulting in more work, what we have done, instead of using these as a reference variable, we have used animal as the reference variable. Then because of this, you can add all these subclasses to the animal list. Let's say you have vegetable here, and then carrot, beetroot are the subclasses. Now let's say if you want to add vegetables to the animal array list, it will not work because vegetable is not the subclass of the animal. Like my animal list works only for the subclasses of the animal. Since vegetable is separate inheritance tree, you cannot add other classes like carrot, beetroot to this because these this is not the subclass of the animal and it comes under a different inheritance tree. So you might think that okay, now I have to create array list separately for each and every category. Why not I create one superclass here, okay? One superclass here, and then instead of using the animal, okay, instead of using animal, I'll create whatever the superclass I created here. Now if I create superclass here and then ask animal and vegetable extend this, now let's say I create a superclass like this and I ask animal and vegetable extend this superclass. So in that case, now instead of the animal, what you can do, you can move the, instead of using the animal here, you can use the superclass class, whatever you have created as a reference variable here. You can change it here, here, and then here. So if you do so, you can add all the subclasses of the vegetables also under this array list, and you can add cat, dog to this array list, and then you can add carrot, beetroot also to this array list. Okay, now what you want here is you want a superclass for this animal and vegetable. Now, instead of you yourself creating a superclass for these two categories, Java itself is providing a superclass called object. So we have already discussed about object superclass, right? If your class is not extending anything, then by default Java makes sure that it extends the object superclass. Now here, when you search for the animal is not extending anything, okay? Now even in the case of vegetable also, vegetable will not extend anything. So that means that both are extending the object, right? If you don't add anything, it will extend the object. Now what I can do is, instead of doing the animal here, I'll go and add object, okay? I'll go and add object, okay? Now I'll go and add object. Now if you do this, you can add anything. You can add vegetable. It's not just vegetable, okay? Now we already know that if any of the Java class is not extending anything, it extends object. Now this is the super class. This is the class that comes at the topmost level. We already discussed about that. Now here all other categories also comes under this. All other classes also comes under the object class or the child classes of the object. So now instead of using the animal as a reference variable, if I use object as a reference variable, I can add any object to this list. Okay, that is well and good, you can do it. But what is the problem? Like you can add it, that works well, that works fine. But what is the problem? Now let's see what happens when you do that, when you change it to the object, okay? Let me remove this. Now initially what happens is, this is the array list you have created for the dog. This array list is the java.util.array list, and then you can create one dog and you can add it. But when you are fetching the index or when you are fetching the element that is already added to the dog, do you really get dog here? Now you will get dog here, because if you see this type, array list type is the dog, okay? So it is accepting dog objects. Now you are creating the dog object and you have added the dog reference variable, and even when you fetch the elements from the array list like get of 0, then you will get the dog object, and then you can invoke like d.bark of, d.roam of, you can invoke the animals. Like after adding the d.roam of, okay, d.roam of, d.sleep of, you can do everything like this. Because you are adding the object also dog, and you are getting the in return also dog object. But instead of adding the object, like instead of adding dog or animal, if you go and add object, let me do that. Now I'll go and add object here. Okay, what you have done, you have created a new dog instance and then you have added dog to the array list. Okay, now this will work fine because this dog reference variable is subclass of the object variable. It will work fine. But when you get the element of the dog, or when you get the element of this array list, what you are getting object, you are not getting the dog here. Now it's because since you are converting the reference variable of the dog to the object, you will get in return dog. You will get in return object. You will not get dog. Now let's say if I want to invoke dog dot roam off and dog dot sleep off, will it work? Definitely it will not work, because this reference variable is the object reference variable. And what compiler does is, let's say you invoke methods, be it any object. I guess we have already discussed about that. Let me show that as well. So here if you see, what happens is, be it any object, like it can be dog object, it can be animal object, it can be cat object, anything. But the reference variable here is object class. Here the reference variable is not the dog class. The reference variable is the object class. In this case, you will be able to invoke only methods that are present in the object class, not the dog class. Here the reference variable is of type object and the object is of type dog. Okay. Now what methods that are present in the object we discussed already, right? That equals, get class, hash code and toString are present. And this reference variable object did not have bark or roam or sleep off methods. Though the object has those methods, reference variable did not have those methods. And we know, right, whenever you want to access any object, you do it via your reference variable. Reference variable gives you buttons for each and every method. Using that button, you go and, like, whenever you press the button, what it does, it goes to the object and then it finds the method for that button and then it invokes the method on the dog object. But here, what buttons it will create? It will not go and create the buttons, like it will not go and create the buttons for the objects that are present in the dog object. It will create buttons for the methods that are present in this class, reference variable class, not the object class. Now the three-step process for the object creation is, first you create a reference variable, then you create an object and then link both. Now when you create a reference variable, during the creation of the reference variable itself, it will create a remote control where it has buttons for each and every method. And for what methods it will create buttons? It will create buttons for the type of the reference variable. Let's say this is an object. It creates buttons for these 4 methods. Let's say this is a cat object. What it does is, it creates buttons along with these 4 buttons. What it does is, it will create buttons for sleep off, roam off methods also, because in the cat class you have those methods as well, right? You have those methods as well, then it will create buttons. Now if your reference variable is object, you can't, since it has only buttons for these 4 methods, not for sleep off and the roam off, you cannot invoke those methods on the dog object. So when you use your super class reference variable like object, you can invoke only methods that are present in the object and not the dog. So doing so, you will lose the capability of invoking the methods. Now the main thing of creating the objects is you invoke the methods, right? You invoke bark off, sleep off, roam off, and by using the superclass reference variable like object, if you are not able to invoke those methods, then what's the point of using the object reference variable here, right? Definitely it has a cost. Like if you want a super array list which will store all kinds of objects, in that case what you have done, instead of using animal, what you have done is, you thought you will use object as the reference variable. Using so, I'll add all kinds of objects. Definitely you can add all kinds of objects, but while adding, what it does is, you are converting your dog to the object, or when you are fetching the element from the array list, you will lose its characteristics. Like if you lose the characteristics of the dog, you will have only the characteristics of the reference variable. That is very important here. Reference variable matters a lot. Whatever the methods that are present in the reference variable, you will be invoke only that. Now this is a dog. Let's say even you have vegetable, carrot, beetroot. They have their, like, carrot looks orange color and the beetroot looks like pinkish color, right? Now if you want to fetch those instance variables also, you cannot do that because those are not present in the object. So by converting into a superclass reference variable, you will lose all the specific characteristics that are present in your child classes, which is a very big problem here. That's what we have observed here, right? So what we have done, initially we have created an array list for dog. Since it is accepting only dog objects, what we have done is we have created reference variable. We have created array list for animal. Using this, we were able to add dog, cat, and dog. But since you want to add other kind of varieties also, we thought to use the superclass of the animal, and object is the superclass. But doing so, if you carefully observe it here, the reference variable initially what it has buttons for all these methods, like these methods 2, 4 and these methods as well, right? These methods as well. It will have buttons for the methods that are present in the superclass and then its own specific methods. But when it when it moves upward direction, it will lose buttons for the specific methods that are present in the child class. Let's say you have this print features present only in the dog. Now initially what it will have, dog reference variable, it will have buttons for 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 methods, and then these 4 methods 8, and then it will have for print features also. These 2 methods are already present here, it's just overriding it, right? So it will have 4, 4, 8, 9 buttons. Now instead of using the dog, if you move to the animal, if you use reference variable animal, what happens? It will lose the button of the print features, okay? Now if you even go forward, you even go upward direction, and if you want to use object, it will lose buttons for these 4 methods as well. It will have buttons only for equals, get class, hash code, and the toString. So when you are moving upwards, when you are moving towards your superclass, the number of buttons that are present in the remote control decreases. As it decreases, you will lose the specific characteristics of the class. So that is the like a little disadvantage of using a superclass reference variable, because you will not be able to invoke the subclass specific methods, because compiler cares only about the reference variable methods but not the subclass methods, okay? Now, like if everything is losing its characteristics, then how can I even work with this approach? There is an approach Java is providing. What that approach is, you typecast it. If you are sure that whatever you are getting is a dog object, then just typecast it to dog. Okay, let me do this. Typecasting means just add dog class here in front of this. Now before, what you have done, if you remove this typecasting and if you try to do this, it is throwing error. Required type is dog because you are assigning to the dog reference variable, but whatever you are providing is the object, because you have assigned dog to the object array list. But when you typecast it like this dog, then it will not throw any error and it will perfectly work fine, like dog.sleep off and then dog.roam off. It will perfectly work fine. But the main thing here to note is you should be 100% sure that the class this particular object is a dog object. Then only you should use dog. Let's say you would have added cat here, okay? And then if you are typecasting it to the dog, then during runtime you will get error, like class casting exception you will get. That is a runtime error. Now the compiler will not give you the error, but it will give you error while it runs the code, because what it sees is the object that got created here. Let's say you do this cat, okay, cat equal to cat off, right? Now let's say you do this cat equal to cat off. What it is throwing? Yeah, cat equal to cat off. And now if you are doing it, you are assigning it to the dog object. During compilation, like when you run the code, it should throw error. See, if you see here, let me see. Now if you see here, cat cannot be cast to dog, because what you have done, this is the cat object and you are trying to cast it to the cat, okay? Then that's why it is throwing error. Like if you do this, right, cat, then it will not work. It will work perfectly fine because the object that you have created is cat and you are trying to get your typecasting it to the cat as well. Now you might wonder that sometimes you are not 100% sure what kind of object it is. Now if I typecast to the cat or dog, it might fail during the runtime. How can I make sure, or how can I add condition that this particular object is of type dog or cat? Java provides you a method to do that. What Java does is, you can add a condition like this, like if, let's say, what you have done, you can do this object dog equal to like this. Okay, now what you can do is, if dog is instance of if dog instance of cat, okay, if dog instance of cat, then what you can do is, you can do this, you can typecast it and then you can work with that. Now let's say cat equal to, you can typecast like this, cat dog. Okay, just I'll change this. So if you are not 100, like what we can do is cat dot sleep off and cat dot room off. So while typecasting, what you should, like if you are not 100% sure that which kind of object it is or to which class it belongs, you can do this check. If this particular object instance, because what you have done, you have created instance for cat only, but when you are assigning to the array list which whose reference variable is of type object, you lose your cat behaviors, right? Now when you fetch that object, then you want to convert back to the cat. So what, but the virtual object here is the cat, okay, but the virtual object is cat. So what you can do is, if this cat, whatever the object you have got is instance of cat class, then you do the typecasting with, like by using this, you will not run into the runtime errors, because if like let's say if this did not satisfy, then it will not go inside and this typecasting will not happen. Before, what had happened, you were trying to typecast dog and like cat object onto a dog object, because since both are of different classes, it did not work. So using this, you can check the like what is the type of the object. Okay, now here let me see these examples as well. Okay, let's say here what had happened, I have created a new dog object, and then what I am trying to do, I am trying to call this get object. In this get object, what had happened, instead of using dog, it had converted to the object and then it is returning it. Now if you see, this is returning the object and you want the dog, so it will not work. So in this case, what you have to do, you have to explicitly do this typecasting. So by using this typecasting, you can get back the characteristics of the virtual object. Okay, yeah. So what are the main things we have discussed till now? So we have discussed about the polymorphic reference variables. Okay, now when you are trying to create a array list for specific category, it will not allow for the cats and all. That's why what we have used is, we have used the superclass as superclass reference variable here, like animal. So this will take care of adding all the subclasses like dog, cat and all. But if you want to add even vegetables and all, what we did is, we changed the reference variable to object, which is the superclass of all classes in the Java. But the drawback of this is, when you try to get back the object, you will get the reference variable, object reference variable. Using so, you cannot invoke your dog methods or cat methods or the class specific methods. You will lose the specific characteristics of the class. To regain the characteristics of a specific subclass, what you have to do is, you have to do the typecasting, and you should do this typecasting only if you are 100% sure that this object is of that particular class. If you are not 100% sure, then you can go with using this cat instance of, like instance of check in the Java. Using this, you can do the typecasting. When you do the typecasting, you regain the capabilities of the specific subclass. Okay, let's see few more examples here. Now if you look at the snowboard here, what happens was snowboard has only four methods like turn off, shred off, get air off, and lose control off. But we already know, right? Every class extends, each and every class in Java extends the object class. So it will have all these four methods in the object class as well. Now, if you look here, what happens is this super class acts as an inner thing here. Now, if you see, this is an object one and it has four methods, and snowboard is the outer one. It has these four methods. Now for snowboard, what you can think, it will have these four methods and it will have these four methods as well. Whereas for object, it has only these four methods. And we already discussed, right? Reference variables of the subclasses will have more buttons, whereas the reference variables of the superclasses has less buttons. It is not always the case, because sometimes your child class, instead of adding these specific special behaviors, it would have overridden only the methods that are present in the super class, right? Let's say in the snowboard, it did not add these methods. It would have just overridden these methods and added its own specific implementation. In that case, snowboard also has only four methods and object also has only four methods. And even the reference variables also has four buttons. Either the subclass will have equal buttons or equal methods than the superclass, or greater than the superclass. Now, if you see snowboard equal to new snowboard off. And if you see, there are this is the remote control, many methods in the snowboard. And this is referring to this. Now, when you assign the snowboard to the object, what happens? This particular reference variable can access only the methods that are present in this class, reference variable class. Though the object, whatever you are assigning, like snowboard, or though the reference variable that you are assigning has some 8 methods, but it has 8 methods, okay? But the reference variable you are assigning to the object. Object has only 4 methods. So though it has 8 methods, you will be able to access only 4 methods, because compiler will be able to invoke only the buttons that are present on the object class, that are present on the reference variable. Here, if you look, this particular object has 8 methods, but though it has 8 methods, you don't have a way to access those 8 methods. You have, because reference variable don't know about these 4 methods. Reference variable only knows about the methods that are present in its class. So using this reference variable, you can access only these 4 methods, but not the methods that are present specific to the snowboard. Okay, yeah. Now if you look here, let's see a few more things. Initially, what we have done, object, you are assigning as what you have done is, you have added like dogs to the array list, okay? When you get it, actually this is of object type, right? We have already discussed it. To do the typecasting, what you can do is, you can do this and the roam of, okay? Now this is what we were talking, like instance of. Now, and one more thing is the reference variable, like let's say you have superclass reference variable and you have a subclass. Like subclass would have had 8 methods and superclass has only 4 methods. Since superclass is the reference variable, you can invoke only these 4 methods on the subclass object. Because though it has 8 methods, it did not have a button on the remote control to invoke the other methods. Along with that, it will consider the access modifiers also. Let's say even in the superclass reference variable, you have 4 methods, out of which only 2 are public and 2 are private. Now it will not create buttons on the remote control for the private methods. It will create only for the public ones. Okay. Now using this, what we have understood is, when you are moving upwards, okay, when you are trying to use superclass reference variables, one advantage is you can use that as a polymorphic behavior, because we can add subclasses to that reference variable. But one more disadvantage is, you will be not able to invoke the methods that are specific to the subclasses. You will lose that. But once you get the object, you can typecast it, and then you can you can typecast it to the specific subclass, and then you can still use the specific behaviors. And for while doing typecasting, if you are 100% sure, then go for it, or else you do this instance of check. Okay, yeah, that's it about the polymorphic arguments or polymorphic variables, and then we have discussed about the typecasting objects as well. Okay, thank you.